welcome to the Untrapped podcast, where we give motivational and inspirational tips about life, small business, wisdom,
health, wealth, finance, relationships.
It's about being the best you that you can possibly be. Hashtag Untrapped. Welcome to the Untrapped podcast. I am your host, Keith Kalfas. What's up, it's Keith Kalfas. I want to share my top 3 lessons learned in 2018. Right here, top 3 lessons learned, and some of them are painful lessons. Okay, let's get started. Number 1, 2, and 3, real quick, is 1 is about being definite in your purpose, and people will walk all over you. People will wipe their ass with you if you don't know where you're going. If you don't have a target, other people's targets will become your target. Okay, number 2 is if you chase your vision by means of willpower, just work your ass off without having any systems in place, you'll burn out and everything you built will just crumble like a house of cards and you'll never get anywhere. And then number 3, I'm going to go back through them and go slow. But number 3 is if you have too many irons in the fire and you're practicing diversification out of desperation, then it'll just burn your ass into the ground. So back up to number 1. If you're not definite and clear, then others will be. And people will walk all over you. Your friends will walk all over you, your family, your employees, other business people, your customers, and your clients. I'm a firm believer that it's just human nature for survival, right? So if you're newer in your small business, you're no stranger to the feeling of how rogue certain clients and homeowners and customers are. That they're always trying to get a deal. Basically, to sum it all up without getting too deep, is that if you don't constantly draw your line in the sand and be very clear and definite about what your pricing is, building expectations, what your contracts are, what you're doing, and the value that you create and bring to the table, people will wipe their ass with you, and you will walk away feeling taken advantage of over and 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 over. And one thing that I really think is when you grow some balls and you start raising your clients, this really stuck with me. If you think that some of your clients are your friends, but this client is my friend and we're super cool and we hang out and we talk, try raising the price and see how much they support you. If you can raise the price and raise it again and they stick with you, then they really support you in your future and your business. Because if you pull up to a client's house and last week or last month or last quarter you did a project for them and they're trying to talk you down, but now all of a sudden they've got a new BMW in the driveway and you go in their home and there's oh, where'd you get that 80-inch screen TV and $50,000 in brand new furniture? Oh, you're getting a pool installed. Oh, you just got back from Italy for a month. And then they're trying to talk you down. See, if they really like you and they're really your friend or whatever, because clients are clients and friends are friends, and you can't have some friends that are clients, but I'm just saying, raise the price and then see, right? Now, so don't get caught up. Don't dilute yourself. You got to get paid. You want to have nice stuff too one day, right? Okay, so be very definite and clear. Your employees, if you're not very definite and clear about what you expect, and you're too caught in your emotions or being nice or afraid that you're being a control freak, because when you're a small business owner, you're in a position of leadership. You're always telling people what to do. You're the man. And sometimes you can get this weird complex where oh my God, am I like a control freak or something? Do I have my hand up other people's asses? How can I create some type of expectation where people can feel free to work and do things without me micromanaging them? Some freedom for both of you, right? Now, people will walk all over you. They'll show up late. People will treat you the way that you condition them to treat you. Period. Number 2, If you chase your vision by means of willpower without systems, you will burn out, and everything that you work for will crumble like a house of cards. Okay, an escalator. Joe Kowalski, the founder of ServiceMonster.net, little shout out. There you go. But Joe said something interesting. He said, "Build an escalator and ride it to the top," and that really got me thinking. So when you like go to the mall or something, or you go on an elevator or an escalator, you could take a nap on the way up. You could jump up and down with excitement. You could be angry. It doesn't matter how you feel, because that system, it just works. It doesn't matter how you feel. So what is something that you can do, or, you know, in life, in business, in anything, right? That once you build that thing, all you have to do is just keep it tweaked and maintained and make sure it works, and it just works, right? Because if you build it by means of willpower, you got this big goal. This year we're gonna do 500,000 or whatever it is, and you just go to working your ass off to do that, well, you're going to get burned out, right? Eventually. Right. Now, if you're in your 20s or something and you've got a shitload of energy, you could probably go like 3-4 years straight working 100 hours a week. But like they told me, you'll eventually burn out. Now, if you don't put some systems in place that can run without your constant willpower and input, you'll burn out. And then you'll feel like a failure, because why didn't it work? That's what systems do. Having some systems, for example, a sales system, protocol by every single time the customer calls, you pick up the phone, or your secretary picks up the phone. That was a big move that I made this year, was hiring a secretary and a bunch of virtual assistants, and a team of 7 different people working for me in all various different aspects and components. And it's freed up so much, okay? And I'm only just getting started, but I think there comes a point where you get so sick and tired of banging your head against the wall and burning out that you say, okay, I got to try this system thing and put a couple things in place to make it work. Okay, so don't use willpower indefinitely, because it won't work. Number 3, too many irons in the fire. Having too many irons in the fire is diversification out of desperation. If you do it too soon. Okay, so if you want to provide all these different services, like me, I've been really on the fence. We do landscaping and window cleaning, and I've built like this business where we have all these landscaping customers. We do landscaping and tree trimming, and all these customers where we do window cleaning. I've considered many times, like, I'm just going to drop the landscaping and do full-blown window cleaning and pressure washing, right? And then we start making some pretty good money landscaping. We're getting all these tree trimming jobs coming in at the end of the year. I'm like, oh, fuck, I can't drop that. Okay, I'm going to go full-blown tree service and bigger landscape jobs, and just drop all that window cleaning. And then when the spring comes and we're just flooded with window cleaning jobs, because we get a lot of both, I just like, oh, I was on the phone with David Carroll from Lionshare Maintenance and A-Type Data, and he was saying, no, more services and just train more people. So you get all this confusing, conflicting information. Just something that I think, I know for sure that I'm doing this year in my downtime is going through all the data, finding out where the money's at, where the money isn't, where's the convenient money, where's the really hard money, and what makes the most sense. So coming into next season, we can sculpt away more fat and find out what works and do that. Don't do what doesn't work. Major changes need to be made in my business, because I'm extremely frustrated, burned out, same shit, like a plateau. And a lot of it's based around the issue of pricing. So a low barrier to entry business that anybody can get into, what are you competing against? A ton of other people based off customers caring mostly about pricing. How much can you separate yourself in the marketplace so you can start to charge triple of what the other companies are all willing to charge, because they're not licensed, they're not insured, they don't have payroll, they don't pay taxes, they don't have work comp, they don't have general liability, they're not maintaining their vehicles properly. How can you build a business and a lifestyle, an entire thing, on such a low profit margin that if anything goes wrong, the whole fucking thing comes collapsing like a house of cards? Is it really smart or risky to build a business that's so competitive with such a low barrier to entry on such a low damn profit margin? Interesting. So That's what I'm up against, maybe you too as well. So what do? We keep diversifying. Have you ever done like a type of thing where you made really good money at it, and somebody says to you, well, why don't you just do that from now on? Well, you've already. If that comes to once every 2 to 3 weeks or once every month, you know, why don't you just go do that from now on? I like Christmas. Christmas comes December 20. Let's just do Christmas every day. Yeah, let's do Christmas every day, okay? Anyways, so once you become successful, moving on, everybody wants a piece of you. Friends, family, other businesses, opportunities start to fall in your lap. People want to recruit you, they want to hire you, they want to do deals with you, they want to partner up, they want you to drop what you're doing and go be part of what they're doing. And because when people see that you're ambitious and they see that you're smart, they want to somehow, entrepreneur-minded people are always looking to recruit other people. They're always trying to find other people who aren't serious about their own dreams so they can recruit them into helping them achieve their dreams. Be very clear about that. When somebody wants to do business with you, it's because they have an ulterior motive. It's because they have a dream they want to chase. And I just think unless it's your dream or unless you're passionate about it, that brings me to another thing. Doing things for just the sake of money, that's a tough one. When you do things just because, or you get into an opportunity, or you chase something down just because you can make good money at it. When I was at the GIE Expo, I met a lot of people, and there was one guy specifically who was very ambitious. And I said to him, like, but are you doing it just for money? Like, are you even passionate about it? He goes, of course, I'm doing it just for the money. That's what I'm passionate about. Building a business or businesses and making money. And that was interesting to me because there's a dichotomy there. If you're just straight up passionate about running a business and making money, and you're very clear about that, I think that's cool. See, it's calibrated and you know why you're doing it, and you're clear. You're not deluding yourself. But if you're chasing something just because you're desperate and you think it can make you good money, I think that leads to dead ends, right? So that makes sense. And I would tell you the story of Michael Jordan. I kind of heard this on a Sam Ovens video, so I'm double parroting it. But so supposedly when Michael Jordan blew up and became the most valuable player in the NBA, he became famous. He was getting sponsorships and endorsement deals from all these sports companies, and he was everywhere. All this success and opportunity in the world fell on his lap. All these famous people wanted to hang out with him. He was invited to parties. He was invited to be a guest appearance on every single TV show and talk show. And of course, that's what he was supposed to. That's what he did. So, not before long, he was everywhere. He was doing so many social activities and doing all these things that were a secondary byproduct. All these secondary byproducts of success are the things that come, right? Oh, you can go out to eat more, you can party, you can have access to things you couldn't before, you can go do more fun things, and all the time spent doing those things suck away time, and all the people and new relationships that you get suck away the time from the original thing that made you successful in the first place. So at some point, Michael Jordan, his actual basketball game started failing. He started sucking at his own game, and he had to make a decision, which was to do a complete blackout. Black everybody out, cut off all these relationships, and stop doing all appearances. He just canceled it all and got back to focusing on his game. And he went on to become one of the greatest players of all time because he was smart and he saw it, and he was able to course correct and pivot and make that decision. So to recap, top 3 lessons learned from me is if you're not definite and clear, number 1, people will literally walk all over you. It's human nature. And until you get to the point where you just say no, not as an asshole, not as willpower, you just become a firm person and draw your line in the sand and say no. We're not going to hang out tonight. or no, I'm not going to just go do that, or no, you're not going to walk on me like that. And that's all it is. And people learn to respect you. Because if you don't, you know what I'm saying. And number two, again, is if you chase your vision by means of willpower, by just working your ass off and you don't put any systems in place, you're just going to run yourself into burnout and end up burned out at the end of the season. And then, three is having too many irons in the fire. And if you're way over diversifying and you got way too many things going on, you can't do 5% of 20 different things. They're all never going to go anywhere. So at some point, you have to draw your line in the sand and say, okay, I'm just going to do these one or two things that work really well, and I have to get rid of all the other bullshit, right? For now, until those things become really successful, and then you can start to branch out, right? And I also think being on social media too much is a huge time waste. I want to wrap this up by saying, I want to ask you, and I want to know in the comments, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, where did you leave money on the table in 2018? What I mean by that is, what are a couple opportunities or things that you, looking back, if you would have pursued that, or you would have locked down that deal, or just went out on that, 8 p.m. on that Saturday and closed that deal, or tried a little harder, you would have closed that thing and made a lot more money. What are some things, where'd you leave money on the table? And then second is, who are those people that you should have communicated with that you didn't? Kind of same as leaving money on the table, where you could have reached out and solidified a relationship or locked something down, but maybe you were too caught up that you didn't. And then next is, what is the most profitable thing you did in 2018? Looking back, where did you really crush it? Wow. What were some things that you did, or some strategic moves that you made, or something that you pulled the trigger on that really actually worked out really well? And you're like, hell yeah, we really made leaps and bounds in 2018. Like, pat yourself on the back and congratulate yourself. Be like, dude, I crushed it in 2018. Okay. And then where are some places that you dropped the ball? So when you kind of look back at that, you can see how far you've come. And then I think I'm going to share, coming into the new year, I have a list of like 65 pages of goals. And I sat down yesterday morning, I turned my cell phones off, and I just sat there and I read my goals for 2 hours straight, and I was taking notes and really getting clear again. Clarity is everything. And in the world we live in, there's so much confusion, there's so much distraction, that if we're not clear, we're just going to be caught in the dust storm, in the fog. Okay, cool. And then a quick side note, with me on YouTube, I was vlogging like crazy. If you know me, if you watch my channel, there was a point when I broke out of a job and I started my business, that first 2 years of vlogging, I was a madman. All I cared about was how exciting the transformation was, and I was vlogging that journey, and that's that aggressiveness that I had in me, okay? And, I could pick up the camera and put out vlogs every single day here on YouTube. Like, I have help. I have an editor in Russia who edits my vlogs. I have virtual assistants, but if I'm just vlogging my day and what's up, it's Keith, and now we're in the car doing this, and I have a lot of thinking to do around where I want to take this channel and what I want to do with it. I've evolved totally past the startup phase and being, I really consider myself the startup guy. I've had tons of people tell me that when they started their businesses, they find my channel and it just, boom. They can relate to what I say in the videos, and it helps them, helps them get their landscaping or lawn care business, or window cleaning business for that matter, off the ground. And I feel very humbled and appreciative that I had the foresight to share that entire experience for 2-3 years straight on the internet. Here's another thing I realized. And I don't know if it depends on your intentions. So I can't say that I'm at fault or anything. Be wary when somebody starts making a little bit of money, especially for their first time, or they get a little bit of success. All of a sudden they think they're the shit, and they think that they know everything. All of a sudden they think that they will start to speak with such authority And what do people do in social proof and psychology? If somebody seems very confident in what they're talking about and they have authority, well, they must be right, right? But if you kind of look, like I really like a Stanley Genetic, okay? This guy's been in the business for years. If he's talking, listen to what the fuck this guy is saying, because he's been there. He's been there, and he knows what he's talking about, and he wouldn't lead you down the wrong path, He's got a great program, Dirt Monkey University, right? They're not lying. There's good information there. I got a great program, the Landscaping Startup Business course. Go to keithkalfas.com if you're just getting started. Check out my landscaping video course. It's amazing. It's like $37. You can get in this thing and get like 20 hours of information with interviews and property walks and pricing. I promise you'll get a 10x return on your investment. Well, way more than that. You'll get like 1,000x return because it's only $37. But it'll open your eyes to a lot of shit. Go to keithkalfas.com if you're new. Grab my landscaping video course. I promise you'll love it, or I'll give you your money back, right? But if you're in the business a little bit longer, check out Dirt Monkey University. There's a lot of good places where you can get really good resources to content that will help you in so many ways. And I think if we could just get caught up entertaining ourselves to death on YouTube and shit, big fucking waste of time, and we'll regret it.